But if you can't, you'll die by third party.
Well, there you have it. I've got an exclusive for the analyst desk there. Just send Swizzy in.
You know, if it works, right, Frankie? I mean, Swizzy, again, being that fragger, going absolutely crazy. And again, I kind of touched on it yesterday, but like my favorite part of these kind of environments is kind of getting to see the players, talk to them directly after those moments of victory, of mess-ups or whatever, and to see every time they get a win. And you kind of see Swizzy like off to the right side. He's just freaking out. He's like just smiling real big because he knows what he's pulled off on the LAN environment. And again, reminder, the past few, he's not been with his proper teammates, so I really appreciate getting to see that side of the players.
Yeah, 100%. I also love to see the side where Masesh is pretty cool, calm, and collected, right? He was talking about it during that interview right there. Hey, listen, you know, we're very, very aware of the fact that the best chance to kind of come for us would be in the early game. If other teams want to win, that's when they're going to come. Of course, they're thinking about that. It sounds like they're prepared.
Yeah, remember, Mustache hasn't been in this position on LAN yet, right? We haven't seen this crazy performance from Mustache on LAN, so he hasn't actually been in a position of dominance after day one. So I think he'll be in the, or previously he would have been in the shoes of the teams that are trying to catch up. Now he's in this brand new position, and I think he's carrying himself really well through that pressure as well, doing great with the fans as well, not letting it affect him, but also enjoying their company as well.
Yeah, man, of course, we just gotta stay the course. Let's keep pushing forward. Don't change up anything, right? Let's talk about the trio in second place. Obviously a big crowd favorite, Vanya. I mean, we heard him anytime he was on screen. You can hear it right now. Marius, Pixie as well. Shout outs to Team Havoc. Shout outs to the M8, of course. These guys are sitting so good right now, of course, coming in, having time to prepare things. I'm excited to see what they might change up for day number 2.
Yeah, I mean, I was really impressed with their day one performance overall. You know, the way that they played. I think if you've been watching a lot of EU this season, or this year, I should say, you know these guys are sort of a height team as well. They like to try and go for height, but they've sort of adapted in this global championship. They haven't been trying to W key height. They know that Queasy's going to be up there. We just broke it down. We know how good they are at holding that position, so they're very adaptable. They have 2 of the best fraggers in the region, in the world, on this team as well, led by Vanya. So it's a team that has it all, and I think if there's any team that could overtake Queasy in first place, it's these guys. The setup's so good for them off spawn, and they're such a strong team with it.
Obviously a tall task. I love the fact that you kind of bring up the history over on EU, right? Because Z loves to call it the meta within the meta, right? Kind of bringing that to the global stage, because if you are an EU team versus an EU team, you kind of are used to how this is going to go. So that might be something to look at, right? They may be like, hey, listen, we're kind of used to playing for the higher end, right? How do we kind of implement that around how Queasy's kind of going for it? But like you also mentioned, they've done a great job at adapting. Loved watching some of their games because they just control the mid ground so easy. They even seem very, very comfortable in that position as well.
I was speaking to Marius a little bit before as well, of course, his first LAN, so, you know, how's he feeling, all that sort of stuff before today. And he was saying, I don't think we can catch up Queasy, but we can give it a good go, right? They're going to try their very best, but he's not so confident in the fact they can get first place, but for them, I think it's just about continuing doing what they can do, let them do their thing, and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, they did such a great job yesterday. Would love to see them kind of continue through that. It kind of felt like towards the later half of the day, Marius was kind of unleashed, right? Kind of creating highlight reels all the way around. But, you know, obviously the end game is very, very important. So is the early game. Something to always keep in the back of their minds. This is where Peterbot's trio was initially going to land over at OXR, right?
Yeah, it was.
The change happens, right? And then, you know, Peterbot, Cold Ritual, they end up leaving. So they were meant to be contested all 5 games yesterday, but because of how things are kind of going for Cold Ritual and Peterbot Spawn, they actually decided to come one game, something to potentially think about today as well.
Yeah, for sure, but it was very important that Vanya's team actually managed to win that off-spawn fight. I think if they went down there, things would look a lot differently for them throughout the rest of the day. But I mean, we can see it right here, the way they're able to play that sort of low ground section. We've seen them with that minigun as well be so, so valuable for them. And like you just mentioned, Vivid, Marius, wow, absolutely incredible performance towards the back end of yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, obviously doing very, very well. I love the strategy that they end up implementing, because it's like every single one of their games is very, very similar. They throw a launch pad down in the middle of their POI. They go land in the middle of 4th zone, so they're pretty much guaranteed to pull 5th, and then they just do the classic within the meta right now. Use the fizz, use the crash pads to go to every single one of the next zones. It's very, very clean, and it's very, very repeatable for the trio.
Okay, so if this trio wanted to try and strike first, right, what can they hope to do to try and catch up Queasy? I mean, Queasy's got a lead, right? But Queasy starts to play this out well. If he makes a mistake, this opens a big door for Vanya.
The problem is, Queasy and Mistake this weekend, they're kind of opposites, right? We haven't really seen that happen from that team. So, you know, I think realistically for this team, they do have to play out their own game at the very beginning. I would be very surprised if they end up contesting Queasy in game number 1. I do not see that happening for this team in particular. They have to keep up doing what they're doing. They're performing very well in their own regard. So they have to be confident in their own end games. If by game 10, 11, 12, they start looking and think, maybe this is our only option, maybe they'll have to go on over there, maybe third party them, land nearby. It's going to be tough for them, but like I said earlier, they just have to play their own game.
Man, oof, I'm excited. You guys got me amped up. Of course, we have a moment here. Why don't we check in with Vanya, see how he's doing? Frankie, over to you.
Thank you very much. Yes, I am here with Vanya Boo Boo. And first of all, how do you have so much aura?
I mean, it's just M8 fans. It's not me.
I think it may be a bit of both. Let's talk about the game you're playing at the moment. Second on the leaderboard. A win is possible at the end of today. But the game that you're playing is one I don't associate with you with, the low ground. Tell me how you've started to adapt things.
I mean, we tried to take a ground 2 games, and it's not worked for us. So we just played from low ground, but we'll try something different today.
So maybe going for height again.
Yeah.
Très intéressant. Déjà, il dit que c'est les fans Amune qui lui donnent beaucoup d'énergie. Et il parlait du low ground qui l'a beaucoup aidé. Ils ont joué 2 parties hier avec. Ça les a vachement aidés. Mais aujourd'hui, ils ont peut-être changé de stratégie. So, today, what do you expect? Do you expect to do victory royals or more consistently things you aim?
Yeah, we'll try to win like at least 3 games because we need to try to get like first place today. So we'll try our best.
Marius especially was really picking up momentum towards the end of the day yesterday. Are you feeling hot to go, warmed up and ready?
Yeah, we are so ready.
I think he is. Just look at Vanya's eyes. Let's head back to the desk.
You know, I am even more a fan of Vanya than I already was, and that was specifically because of the M8 fans and them chanting Vanya Boo Boo. So I'm on board. Whenever you guys want to chant that, you feel free. Obviously, they're locked in, right? And it's interesting that he says we have to come out and win 3 games, right? I like that the ceiling or like the bar is not like, oh, we just need to like be consistent. We need to do this, we need that. No. We need to do what Queasy did and win 3 games.
Yeah, I love that as well, right? Kind of teeing it up. Hey, you're going to kind of play consistently, kind of do what you were kind of doing yesterday. It worked very, very well, put you in 2nd place. He's like, nah, we got to win 3 games. And I love the fact, you know, how can they do that? Minimatter, do they go for the higher ground? I mean, I don't know.
I think they do. I think they have to take a few risks now. They've been playing very sort of low ground play style, which is working very well for them. But we know how good they are at height, right? So, you know, there is an opportunity for them to take it. Maybe if Queasy has a bad game, goes down early, they have to make that game count. And I think that's going to be the most crucial thing for them, is when Queasy's not in the lobby, they're not getting points. Vanya's team, they have to make the most.
Of course, that was great and all, guys. I also want to talk about the trio in 3rd place right now. Seti, Yapko, Panzer.
Yep.
Seti in 3rd place going into day number 2. Oh my gosh, could I be more excited? Of course, I'm upset there's no NA in the top 3, but it's fine, don't worry about it. We have 6 games. The trio looking very, very strong right now, Vivid.
I love to see this because it feels like, you know, for both Cammy and Seti, of course, their names were just synonymous together, and there was this big question mark on how they were going to do when they actually split. Clearly, right now, actually, for both of the trios, they were doing very, very well yesterday. Obviously, being in 3rd place, performing a little bit better, is going to be Seti. But, you know, throw it all the way back to Invitational. That was so long ago. And the fact that Seti is still up here, competing on the global stage and doing very, very well, just awesome to see.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would have had this team a little bit lower down on their predictions after day number 1, because they look at the drop map, they think, yep, contested, you know, they're still going to get middle of the pack. And especially with Cammy and Seti's history, we sort of know that team is not the greatest off-spawn fighting team. So a lot of people had questions. Now, Cammy has split with Seti. How are things going to go for them off-spawn? And things have been going really, really well for them as, in terms of day number 1. So I'm really excited to see what this team can do now.
I mean, you want to talk about storylines, right? Yapko kind of coming in last globals to kind of be that sub player, picked up a top 10 himself, kind of Seti scouting out that, like, whoa, wait a minute, that looks pretty good. How can you do that? Yeah, picking up a great piece of talent there. And then, of course, Panzer to fulfill the trio. It's working out perfectly right now.
Now, guys, of course, there's a little bit of an asterisk, right? These guys are contested. Now, it seems like it's working out so far, but if something were to kind of go in the opposite direction, it could spell disaster for the trio. I feel like, based on what we've seen, that shouldn't be the case.
You know, I'm happy that you kind of talk about them being contested because, you know, me and Minnie kind of sat down last night. We were looking at the games, and it's very, very hard for us to catch everything that kind of happens in the other games because there's so much going on.
Yeah.
But actually turns out Seti, Yapko, and Panzer were only landed on 3 times by Aspect, Kazi, and Tinka, right? So it's kind of like this weird thing where it's like half the time they're going there, half the time they're not. Are they going to be contested today? Are they not?
Yeah, it's tough for them now. It's tough for Seti's team, right? Because, of course, Tinker's team, they were landing there a few times, then they decided to go elsewhere, and it wasn't like 3 games on, 3 games off. It was sort of sprinkled around, right?
Yeah.
They were going in different drop spots. So I think that does prepare Seti's team in a way, right? They're prepared for an uncontested and a contested situation, which they've been doing really, really well. But now I think it always begs the question of what is Tinker's team going to do now, day 2? They've been watching the VODs. They've been looking at what they're doing wrong. So could that throw a spanner in the works of Seti? Will we see that same performance? I certainly hope so, though, because they're doing really great.
Okay. Of course, you pulled some examples for us, Vivid. Kind of talking about the trio, maybe how they've rotated, because you know we're impressed by this performance.
Yeah, I mean, they've been doing super, super well, and like Minnie mentioned, you know, of course, being contested. It was only in 3 of the games. They did, of course, win every single time it actually ended up happening. But I think the most impressive thing for this trio right now is the fact that they've been able to come up with a strat that actually works regardless of how the game kind of goes to them, right? They're contested, they do the same thing. They're uncontested, they do the same thing. The zone, the Storm is covering Kappa Kappa Factory very, very early on. They do the same thing. It just doesn't matter.
Yeah, one of these things that they do is, of course, they find these launch pads, right? These huge launch pads that can send you so far up in the sky. They actually place one down. They almost use it as a static launch pad, although it's not there on the map all the time. They find one, they chuck it in the middle of the POI, and then, of course, that gives them not only so much visibility, but also Tinker's team, when they're contesting them, one of them might dip, as we saw right here, Tinker do himself. Seti was able to then go on out, close that fight out, get all of that Storm Surge damage so effectively, and even go down here to farm a little bit more as well.
Yeah, now the specific strategy that they pretty much do, Seti is kind of just sent off to go ahead and pick up as much loot as he possibly can, right? And he returns to that quote-unquote static launch pad that they kind of throw down in the middle of the POI. He usually will end up dropping all of his loot and then continue to go ahead and pick up more stuff.
Yeah, and Panzer does all of the surge damage up on this massive base right here. We see them shooting at Malabuka right here, and this is a really important role for this trio because Panzer, remember, this is his first time on this stage, so big role for a player of that caliber. We know how good he is. He sort of burst onto the scene at the beginning of the year, and is doing very well on LAN as well.
Of course, being the trio with the most Storm damage taken as well, right? That's why we kind of talked about it, right? They will make sure that they pick up enough loot from all of the surrounding area, kind of using that launch pad. They don't mind delaying it because, again, they still have that launch pad to kind of flow in or fly into the zones. They've stayed in this game, this example, all the way until 4th, right? The launch pad's such an important part of their strategy, and so is just kind of hiding away in the Storm.
Yeah, they get so much surge damage early. They're sitting inside the Storm, getting all those heals. When it comes to the end game then, playing low ground, playing consistent, sort of back to what we used to see with Cammy and Seti when they were a duo, right? And even a trio as well. So it's great to see these guys playing. They seem to make the most of the games they make off.
So cool, right? Thinking launchpad, we should probably save that to the end game, right? Changing up how you utilize that. Look at the advantage this trio's got. Now, of course, we do have Yapko standing by. Let's hear from him.
I am so glad that Yapko is back representing Europe and doing it in such fashion. Yapko, when you came back from North America and joined up with Panzer and Seti, did you expect your trio to do so well so quickly?
I'm not sure. We were last second trio. We had a lot of stuff to learn together about each other, and we managed to do it before FNCS and Globals, and now we're a pretty good trio.
Well, you must have the chemistry because you're doing incredibly well off spawn at Kappa Kappa Factory. What do you think is going so right for you there?
We put in a lot of time on practicing it before here. Like in customs, every night, we played off-spawns against other pro teams.
Ils ont eu beaucoup de choses à travailler quand ils se sont rejoints lorsqu'il est venu en Europe de l'Amérique du Nord. Ils ont fait beaucoup d'efforts là-dessus, ils se sont beaucoup entraînés aussi sur leur spawn. Et maintenant, ils sont très très bons. What does your experience, because you're used to LAN, do you think it helps you?
I don't think it helps me, I don't think it gives me worse. Like it's just, it doesn't matter if I'm on LAN, if I'm at home. I feel the same everywhere.
So no pressure.
No pressure, no pressure.
Is it fun to also be playing against some of your ex-opponents in North America and even against an ex-teammate in Muzz?
Yeah, I'm not really like thinking about it. I'm just playing it like it's every other final.
So at the end of today, are you going to be lifting that trophy?
Hopefully.
Well, we will see. Let's head back to the desk.
try to keep things calm, cool, and collected, right? Calling out, hey, I'm just treating this like every other final. That's a great mindset, right? Because things, again, we continue to talk about it with this type of crowd. Things are on another level of pressure. And I love that Yapko, I mean, he's kind of been under this pressure before. Mini, right? At Gamers 8?
Yeah, Gamers 8 2023, of course, ended up winning that event on LAN. Of course, different game mode, you know, regardless, it doesn't make a difference, right? LAN is still the same, same sort of environment. So I think that definitely has a part to play now. You know, he was leading very, very well in the first day of that. Now coming into today, third place.
You got Frankie standing by. Why don't we hear from this crowd right now?
Coucou Lyon, ça va ou quoi?
Est-ce que Lyon, vous pouvez vous mettre debout? Mettez-vous debout, parce qu'on va faire un maximum de bruit. On est bientôt à l'ouverture de la première partie. It's almost the beginning of the first games.
This is why I love this crowd. You ask them nicely to do something and they do it, and they look so good as they do. Should we test their voices now?
Oh oui, est-ce qu'on peut tester votre voix parce qu'elle trouve que vous êtes très énergique? Est-ce qu'on peut prouver au monde entier qu'on a la meilleure communauté française au monde? Faites du bruit!
I love it. Okay then. Let's test out who they think is going to be raising the Thomas Light Trophy at the end of today. Lyon, vous en pensez quoi? Seti, Yapko, Panzer, va gagner! Well, they made noise.
Et alors, j'ai une question. Est-ce que vous pensez que Vania, Pixie et Marius vont gagner?
Finalement. Queasy, Swizzy, Mesa, va gagner! Whoever wins Joker, I have to say, I think they're never going to forget this crowd.
Clairement, personne ne va oublier ce moment, surtout pas les joueurs. Donc s'il vous plaît, faites un maximum de bruit!
I am loving this so much, but I can't wait to hear what this crowd sounds like once the games are underway. So let's head back to the desk.
Thank you so much. I mean, guys, come on. This crowd is insane. How could we not be excited? How could we not be hyped? I do want to kind of, I guess we kind of have to call out something if we just want to take a look at these standings real quick. I want to bring those up. There's something missing from these standings. Yeah, I thought this was a global championship. I thought we'd have some NA representation. Vivid?
Dude, my heart hurts, dude. It's looked so good for, you know, more than one NA team. And right now, I mean, fifth place, hey, shout out to Canada Rapid and Boats because, you know, 267 points for them. They were kind of coming in pretty confident, and they were kind of like an underrated trio kind of coming in this. I actually predicted them to be top 5, so shout out to them. Where's everybody else at, though?
Yeah. I was also thinking the same, right? So it's probably through a slightly different lens.
Yeah.
Like, oh, EU's on top, and you're like, oh, something to NA. But yeah, I mean, Canada's team, what a start for them yesterday, right? Winning game number 1. I think they were a little bit of a sleeper team. Absolutely. A lot of people didn't have them in that sort of top 5. I know you did, so you'll mention that.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, Acorn Poyers, Acorn Poyers, that's a new one. Acorn Poyer and Ages down there at Demon's Debris. I think they struggled a little bit early game trying to find that consistency, but they're a team that can pop off with it day 2.
Exactly, right? Still, you know, coming into this competition, I was like, hey, listen, everything looks so good for Acorn's trio. It looks like they're going to win it. Obviously, you know, the start has not been the best, but they're still pretty much in the same situation coming into day number 2. They're still uncontested at a very good POI. They can still do good. They can still pop off and rise up the leaderboard.
And I spoke to Acorn at the hotel, actually before day number 1. I said, are you the sort of person that gets nervous for these big events? Do you like to think about it? Do you like to stay out of the zone or in the zone? And he said, it depends on how well prepared we are, right? If I'm not as prepared, I'm not feeling as confident. I think they're going to be looking back at the games last night, being so prepared. So I'm expecting these guys to come out with a lot of confidence.
Okay, I'm getting word. Frankie is standing by with some of our players in the player lounge right now. Frankie, rally the team, rally the troops.
How would you solve a problem like North America right now? Well, you're sending a British Zero Builds player, or maybe you get Canada to do a pep talk. Do you want to try?
Right now, I'm in 5th place for NAC. What place are you in right now?
I'm in 10th. It's looking rough. I don't know if we can do it, bro.
Well, I think I'm in like 8th or something, bro. I don't even know. It's just.
I'm just gonna have to land on Queezer, bro. I'm not gonna lie. It made on bottom, bro.
It's just over, like.
Okay, so this is our game plan for NAC to come back today.
Sure.
I'm gonna win every single game today, 20 kills minimum. What are you gonna do?
I think we're gonna try to get the least amount of points as possible to help out my boy Kanade right here.
I mean, I'm gonna try to win too, like him. But I mean, Click's been kind of selling lately because like his girlfriend's here and he's not really locked in. You know, he's not grinding, but it's fine, bro.
That's not awesome, bro.
This is why you stay single, Canada.
I've been single. It's been rough, you know, it's whatever, but we're gonna lock in this day.
All right, then you heard it here first. North America is locked in. Let's head back to the desk.
Levin, no. We got a plan, okay? NA is coming back stronger in day number 2, okay? All right, I don't want to hear it from the EU fans. We have a plan. Now we just execute on that plan. Please, Vinny, please.
I mean, hey, listen, you talked about rallying the troops. We did get them all together, surprisingly, right?
Yeah.
Had a little bit of a round table right there. I don't know if that was very productive, though.
Yeah, what do we get out of that?
We got Kanada's single, and Higgins trolling, talking about Click's not grinding, Click's is grinding.
Yeah.
Andrews is like, I'm just going to get as least amount of points as possible.
And then Higgs is like, yeah, it's over. I want to see more confidence. Come on, NA, you know? It's your time. I mean, it's still, like, we've had half the games, right? We still have another half of the competition to go. This could completely flip. Everyone that did well on day number 1, they might not do so good on day number 2. The teams that didn't do so good on day number 1 might now do well on day number 2. So I want to see more confidence from NA.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a classic NA strategy, Mini Miner. Don't worry about it. It's our strategy to get in the minds of the EU folk and kind of like convince them that we're not going to do anything. You know, everything's fine. We're going to lose the game. Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah,
We got
working
this.
well
Right,
so
David?
far.
David, back me up, David.
Yeah.
Back me up. David. Back me
Yeah,
up.
exactly. That's all part of the plan.
Oh, no. Anyway, I know what time it is. You guys want to start meeting the players. We need to get them on stage, get them on that battle bus so we can kick off the competition. So, Leon, give it up for your players.
Welcome back to Tayson, Chicho, and Atriz. Being contested is never easy, but if they make it off spawn, a victory royale is definitely in their sights.
It's Curly, Cooper, and Reed. Day 1 wasn't what anyone expected from them, but now, a new day, they have a chance to prove they belong here.
Dropping in hot, it's Tisco, Striker, and Canoe. With 2 top 5 finishes yesterday, it's clear they can hang with the best. But now it's time to be consistent.
Poland's pride picks Darm and Demas from underdogs to top dogs. These guys earn everyone's respect, but now it's time to earn that trophy.
You have to get loud for Victor V, Paper, and Epic Whale. It's a new day, but these guys are looking to bring the same determination and then some in the race to the top.
All the way from Brazil, Gabzetta, Way, and Scarpa. When they get knocked down, they pick themselves up and dust themselves off because a comeback is incoming.
Game 1 winners from day 1. It's Kanata, Rapid, and Bolts. We saw them pop off both in and out of game, and now it's time to run it right back.
Coming in hot, Seti, Yapko, and Panzer. From new team on the block to serious threats. They're just a few big games away from claiming that top spot.
They knew it'd never be easy, but Valor, Mansour, and Adapter have their work cut out for them. Let's see how they fare here in day 2.
The Wonders from Down Under, Anon, Alex, and Resigns. With an entire region supporting them, we'll look at these guys to climb up the ladder all day long.
Despite a tough opening, Pollo, Agers, and Acorn ability to adapt, it's second to none. So never count these guys out because they're looking to break into the top.
First of all, please, Leon, can you show some appreciation for Havoc Picks? Oh, come on, Havoc fans. I know you can be louder than that. Havoc Picks, let's hear you! Okay, I'm going to come over now to Dom and Demas because you're currently in 4th on the leaderboard. You are uncontested, I should say. Do you think that's the reason why you're doing so well?
Yeah, probably. When we are uncontested, we can play the best as we can.
Yes, and I wonder if you've got any strategies for in case people do decide to try and contest you.
I mean, like, it's just... Can you repeat the question?
Do you have any plans? What are you gonna do if someone comes and tries to contest you?
I mean, like, we're just gonna try to kill them and just, yeah, win the game.
Before I let you go, the Havoc fans here, just one word for the Havoc fans, please pick.
I love you all.
There you have it. Pix loves you, Havoc fans. He's going to be doing it for you guys and for Poland today. Joker à toi.
Hello everybody, bonjour tout le monde. Je vais poser des questions à Tisco, Striker and Kadu. I have the first question to you. You are in top 15th, close to the top 10. How will you go into the top 10?
So, vocês estão em 15º e muito perto do top 10. Como você chega no top 10?
Nós vai tentar dar o máximo, vamos trocar as estratégias, trocar as coisas que fizemos ontem, fazer de um jeito diferente e tentar dar o nosso melhor para chegar no top 10.
So, they change a few things on their strategy. They talked a little bit yesterday on new things that they have to do, and I think they're confident that they can make it.
And now, guys, do you have a word for your Brazilian fans?
Vocês têm algumas palavras para os seus fãs no Brasil ou na Argentina?
Pro povo brasileiro, torçam por nós e para os argentinos que cream que hay con qué querer.
So they say for the Brazilian, cheer for us, and for the Argentinian, he's speaking directly for them.
And good luck to you. Let's go back to Frankie.
Merci, Choka. I'm here with North America Central's greatest hope, Canada, Rapid, and Bolts. And look at that, Canada's done the impossible. He's got the French fans on side. But will you still have them on side if you manage to take the top spot?
I mean, you know me, we just playing the game. If we take down France, I love France, so it's unlucky, you know, we're just playing a game. Let's go, come on, let's get this. We're locked in, we're showing up for NA. We gonna win this tournament today.
I thought you were going to lose them then, Canada. Slightly, but not quite. Okay then. Bolts, you carry these guys back in the Major 3 finals. Do you feel the pressure on your shoulders to carry them to the top today?
Nah, there's no pressure on my hands. You know, I have all the evidence to back up my skill. You know, I'm always hitting max pumps. Rapid's the best IGL I've ever played with. Nada's the best support player. He's also fragging. So I already know we're going to take it home today.
All right then, Leon, please give them your energy.
Entire arena on their side. Now it's time to show the world what you got.
I wanted to come and speak to some of our North American West players. So please, backers, Paz, Pump, please be on your feet. Let the fans see you. Pump, this is your very first Fortnite Global Championship. How are you finding it?
I'm finding it good. I mean, I wish we were uncontested, but you know, it's how the game is. So hopefully we can pull off a better day.
How are those Osborne fights going for you at the moment?
It's going 3-3 right now. We're confident going to the next couple games, next 6 games.
Have you been discussing how you're going to overcome the situation? Are you thinking of maybe moving your drop spot?
Oh yeah, we're pretty. We got everything covered right now. We're got locked in for it.
Interesting. Paz, tell me, you are at 18th on the leaderboard. Obviously, 6 more games, everything to play for. Do you play it safe, or do you play it like you have nothing to lose?
I mean, we definitely aren't here for some mediocre placement. We're going to try our best to end up top 5 at the end of the day.
Well, you won Majors 1 and 3 in your region, so I know you've got it in you. Thank you so much, guys. Let's head to Choca.
Eh bien, mesdames et messieurs, nous sommes avec iDrop, Camille et Chari. On va leur poser quelques petites questions. La première question qui me vient, the first question that comes to me, it's you're on the 9th position. So you're close to the top 5, closer to the top 5. So how will you bring your team to the top 5?
I think we just got to follow the game plan like we did yesterday and made a couple changes. Just got to make sure we don't have any 0-point games and just stay focused today.
And so you did a great job on consistency, because being top 10, top 9, it's already something very great. Do you feel confident for this second day?
Yeah, I mean, I feel as confident as I can be. I think we're just going to do our job and try to perform the best we can.
Ils vont faire de leur mieux. Frankie, it's your time.
Merci, Choka. Please let me introduce you to my new friends, Salco, Ark, and School. This is their first ever Fortnite Global Championship, and they're sitting in 12th, which is incredible, boys. How have you found the action so far?
It's been really fun. I'm proud. We're going to get top 5 today, and it's going to be a beautiful experience.
Interesting. I'm loving the confidence. Where is this coming from?
We're just the best fighting team here, and any trio that runs into us will always just get wiped.
Okay, are you expecting teams to come running into you?
No, we're going to be running into them.
Interesting. Okay, I can't wait to see you guys dropping from the battle bus today. Good luck, guys. I think, though, we need to hear some more support from the crowd. And Leon, would you like to meet your final teams?
Up next, it's Shadow, Sphinx, and Muzz. Even with the odds against them, this trio's got no problems with defeating expectations to finish with promising results.
The terror of EU, Flixie, Benno, and Vico. After day 1, they showed their potential with 1 win. Now they need to fully show out in order to steal that top spot.
It's a new day for Razzle, Raito, and Tay-Tay. And after having the night to review, maybe they'll bring some new results with it.
A warm welcome to Pablo, Fronoxy, and Chino. Being contested didn't stop them from getting a victory. Now they just need to continue to take matters in their own hands and win it all.
Banjal, Bing, Malabuka, and Wax. With the heart of Leon behind them, it just might be all the motivation they need to kick things into overdrive for a strong finish.
Give it up for Chap Reason and Mr. Savage. With 3 games inside of the top 6, they've shown experience and firepower. But now it's show the world what you got left.
Snowy, Ryu, and San put on quite the show yesterday with their constant box fighting. And if they add some good placements with it, then the Middle East might just be due for an upset.
The NA champs, Peterbach, Cold, and Ritual. With their backs up against the wall, there's only one thing they can do. Take over the competition like they've done many times before.
Nothing to lose, but everything to gain. It's Kazi, Tinka, and Aspect. Looks can be deceiving, so don't sleep on some of Oshi's finest. They're ready to lock in.
It's visuals, grades, and a finish. Even though things didn't go their way day 1, they're just a couple of games away from a comeback. It's now or never.
Ooh la la! It's Swizzy, Queasy, and Merstash! Their gameplay said everything, while their results wrote a new chapter in Fortnite history. This is your moment, so take it!
What do you think of the new look, Leon? I'm starting to feel like a professional Fortnite player, but actually now I need to talk to some. Vico, 7th place right now on the leaderboard. Is a win still possible?
Yeah, I think it's kind of hard, but 1% chance, 99% faith. I think Queasy's got this in the bag though, but nothing's impossible, you know?
You seem to be very nice about some of your fellow European teams, also the American ones. I saw you fist pumping some of the North American guys. Is it all love on this stage?
So actually, no, it's not all love. There's 0 French players at this LAN. Keep booing me.
Okay, I might give him the sunglasses to put back on. Flixie, let me come to you because you do have top 5 experience from last year. And I want to know how you learned to go even further from last year to this year.
I mean, this year we placed first in Globals in the first FNCS, so we know how to win and we're going to do it today, so yeah.
Well, I have a feeling these guys are going to start to really enjoy being the villains when they prove themselves in just a few moments. But for now, let's head to Choka.
Hello you. Hello back. Cette fois-ci, je suis avec Fredoxy, Pablo Wigo et Gino. Ils ont gagné la dernière partie hier soir. You won the last game yesterday. How you feel? Because you are the last one who won a game and you come back. Are you proud of yourself and are you here with a good energy?
Yeah, I mean, we finally got to get loot off spawn, and hopefully we can continue today, winning a game.
Ils vont continuer de gagner aujourd'hui. So have you tried to change some things or have you moved anything in your plan, in your strategy?
Yeah, we what viewed, of course, but I can't tell too much here.
So let's not speaking about it. Et mesdames et messieurs, la dernière question. Do you feel that the crowd is crazy in France?
No, I don't feel like they're against us, but they're definitely with their mate.
They are. Thank you very much. Let's go back to Frankie.
Thank you very much. I'm just getting visuals and braids to stand up. And Minish, please, on your feet. You're in 22nd place, okay? We can't afford to have you rest on your laurels here. What's the plan?
I'm just locking in, you know, I'm getting in the flow state.
Just like leaning back in the flight chair. Yeah, that's properly locking in. And Minish, what's the plan?
We're landing on Queasy.
Oh, landing on the hive. That's a very tricky drop spot, though, Braids. It's an incredibly tricky drop spot, the hive, especially when you're up against the players who are at the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, we have practiced it in the practice arena a little bit, so we should be able to do it good.
Visuals unbelievable. This is really going to happen. You're really going to drop at the hive today.
I guess you'll have to find out.
I think we will have to find out. One last time, please, Leon.
Guys, let's be honest with ourselves for a moment. There's no way they're gonna land on Queens. There's no way they're gonna land on Queasy, right? There's no way.
A little bit of farming going on, I'm pretty sure. They did a good job of it, right? 2 minutes left to go before the game, and we'll actually see what happens. But a little buzzer beater right there, kind of getting that clip in.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a bit of mind games, I don't know. It's not like they're directly contesting them on the leaderboard, right? They're quite far behind. But for that team, you know, they're going to be trying to think about new strategies. What can we actually do to climb our way up in the standings? Because it's a team that we have, of course, seen throughout the year doing pretty well in NA, right? They haven't necessarily had a great season in terms of divisional cups. They haven't been performing so well, so their form coming into it, this Globals is not so great. But when it comes to this stage, anything can happen. You've got 6 games now. The world's your oyster.
Yeah, I love. I want to call out Venno there. You know, love him or hate him, Venno is a character, bro. Got the walking out ice cold with the shades on, howling out. Hey, look, Boomy. There's no French trios here though. That's that's ice cold, Venno.
I mean, yeah, obviously Venno kind of walking out like that, right? A lot of the trios still seeming to be in high spirits, kind of, Pete reminding everybody of the FNCS wins as he comes out as well. But I think there was one of those walkouts that stuck out more than all of the others, right? And it's going to be the last one, of course. The crowd giving its utmost, loudest roar, I'm pretty sure, of the weekend so far for Queasy, Swizzy, and Mustache, and they deserve it.
And they love it. They absolutely love it. They're playing to it. Their play style sort of panders to it as well, right? Playing that high ground play style, the way they can win games, they can have clutch moments. Even the fraggers, of course, doing exactly what they do best, just providing highlight reel after highlight reel. They're a great team to watch. So not only, of course, we have 2 players on M8, they're also just great entertainers as a team. And you can hear it. They absolutely love them, and for good reason.
Yeah, man, look at Sweezy. She's in there, man. I love to see this. I mean, guys, look, if we get any more victorials out of this trio today, I will lose my voice, and I feel like everyone in the stands will as well. Again, we could be looking at our new global champions. They have such a lead coming into today, and now we have to just hope whatever else is going on, that they're prepared. Maybe an ace dropped on them. I don't think so, but, we just got to hope that they hold on strong.
I mean, yeah, they definitely have to, right? Globals, it's been a very rare occurrence for any of our winners who have 12 good games. So far, they've had 6. If they can continue to do well, pick up those top 5s like they have done consistently so, yeah, nobody's going to be able to catch them. But like I already said, very unlikely that they won't have, a bad game in the mix. And once they do, that's going to kind of open the gates for all of the other trios to kind of catch up.
I'm calling it right here. it's not crazy prediction, I'll be honest. Queasy game 1 win. They're doing it. It's such a Queasy thing to do. Looking at the VODs, making sure they're adapting to the lobby, coming out of the gate strong. It's such a Queasy, Swizzy and Mustache thing to do. They're playing it so well. They might have trouble later on down the line. I think a lot more teams, as we see quite often in Fortnite tournaments, is they need to try and boost their way up in the standings for their own good. So they might try and take height. But that first game, keep an eye on them.
Okay, all right, listen, I'm gonna make a bold prediction here. I'm gonna say Kanata is gonna come back, win 3 more games today, because that's what he personally told me. I'm gonna win 4 at LAN. So I gotta believe in NA. We're making a resurgence, okay? Don't call it a comeback. We've been here for years, okay? Everything's all good to go. But you heard that sound. The battle bus is ready. 6 games here. Championship Sunday. After this, we will know who the new global champions are. It's game time!
Almost a year in the making just to get to this global championship. 3 different majors. So much heartbreak, emotion, and passion going into this moment. An 185-point lead for Queasy, Swizzy, and Mustache. It's going to take everything that these players have just to take them down, let alone steal away that top spot.
It's always going to be a battle of mental fortitude, though, in a 2-day format, Jacob. And with a whole night to review, I'm expecting to see a lot of adaptations. And Pixie already feeling a little bit of pressure. Tags applied from a distance, but this is what it's really all about. Rangers ruin for Noxy. Pablo's already down for Noxy with the sweeper. He's trying to see if he can wrap around, provide a little bit of supportive measures. Triz is gonna fall. This could be everything right now, but Chino, he's trying to wrap around. Chino knows we might as well just finish this elimination off. We don't want to allow any kind of revive opportunity. 2 eliminations locked in, though, with Tayson having fallen to Chicho. Chicho barely standing, but it's all for Noxy, Pablo, and Chino to win it out. Now, let's see what they're really about for these end games.
And this time around, versus so many other games, they finished this fight rather quickly, minimizing the chance of any third party coming over. And you know, I know, and I think the world is on notice now. When Prodoxy is able to get off spawn, he goes on runs.
A little bit of rumblings taking place all throughout the course of the early morning hours, and even leading into this morning inside the player practice room, you heard the possibilities. Maybe Queasy gets contested, but that's not going to be the case, at least not for Game 7. Same scenario taking place for Higgs, Iamzo, and Clicks. And keep in mind, Jacob, these guys are still well within striking range of top 5.
Yeah, 8th place basically to end the day yesterday, and it's kind of building momentum, building confidence. These guys have all played on the global stage before. They just need to go ahead and channel it. This is day 2, the last chance, 6 games. They just have to leave no regrets left on that table, just like this team here. Contested, uncontested, they made it work no matter what went their way from the Kappa factory, and now they are just a few big games away from potentially taking a second or even a first place spot, depending how Swizzy, Quizzy, and Mustache continue to perform throughout the day.
And while being uncontested is likely ideal for Seti, Panzer, and Yapko, it does force them to have to revisit where is our search strategy going to come into play. They're not the only ones that have had to take those instances and just rewrite how they want to work it through. Darn Demon's Picks, on the other hand, just lurking, waiting, farming, an epic whale with a dastardly plan.
You said it yourself, lurking, but from one team to another, you're kind of seeing the change up of strategies. Instead of finding out over at Dystopia, it looks like Epic, Paper, and Victor V are ready to make moves. 72 points after day number 1 is a hole that they didn't even expect themselves to be in, especially to start the day. It was Victor V that stopped the momentum from building from Peterbot himself by taking him out in a crucial 1v1 to save Epic Well because he was down.
It actually looks like Epic Well, Paper, and Victor V might have visited that bird a little bit too late. iDrop and Co. likely already stripped most of the metal here, and it's just the scraps left behind. Paper, Victor V, and Epic, they didn't exactly have the most primed up loadouts, so they've got to be really wary of that team on Shining Span.
Yep, just kind of taking the risk of not being able to get loot early on, try to get a fight to go their way. We'll see if it does continue to work out, but Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual still spinning that wheel, landing at the outskirts, not contesting Dystopia, and quickly moving on over towards Foxy Floodgates. You know that Visuals, Braids, and Minish typically do land over here. They're already gone position, and that team in front that they're hunting down. But from one side of the map to the next, contested fights still continue. Adapter landing good shots on the pump, forcing him back, and he's kind of separated from the rest of the team. That's going to give Adapter just a little bit of confidence to move on over. But since he doesn't know exactly where all three members of this trio are at, it's just a little bit too risky for him to keep that aggression up as Baka, Pars, and Pump all drop down low to that low ground just to refarm what little materials that they do have.
Problem is, both of these teams are now rather isolated, Jacob. They spent a decent amount of time in this position, way far east of everybody else. So now Adapter, Mansour, they don't even have any materials. They were trying to pounce on this opportunity, but when the time to elimination isn't wrapped up nice and pretty like what we witnessed between Tayson and Fredoxy, you just get these drawn-out exchanges, and it's not necessarily going to benefit either team because they're both really low on materials. They're so far out of the way compared to everybody else. They still gotta push in eventually, and they're not really going to get a whole lot off of the other party, even if one does win the fight. So Adapter, Mansour, Valor, they spot it out. They know they can't afford to spend any more time. They need to create some space.
Yeah, and I kind of like what you said, where there's not enough resources as well. And you got to realize, even if they do win this fight, especially Baka, Pars, and Pump, they are missing chunks of shield, a little bit of HP, so Storm Surge is not going to be much, even with that elimination there on the Mansour. Not sure that he didn't get the memo that the rest of his team already rotated out, but that's a blessing in disguise for Baka, Pars, and Pump. Just a little bit of Surge, but as I was saying, it's not a ton. So their job isn't done yet. They're going to have to be predators in this lobby to try to hunt and figure out where they can start to accumulate that damage, because yesterday that was one of their weaknesses. Just like a few of the teams in this lobby, falling below that damage threshold, you kind of lose control over your own game. You have to push teams in which you normally wouldn't push.
The elimination feed certainly lighting up though with a chunk of Nox, and Bolts loses his shield, but based off of what we just saw inside of this Surge base, don't think that Bolts is all that pressed for it. Pixie, Vanya, Marius just taking their time. These pre-established Surge bases, you have a pretty good idea of where other teams are going to be at, so you know that you're very likely to be able to farm a few Surge tags if you just set up in advance.
Activity still going on this side of the map. It's actually going over back towards that OXR HQ. Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual continuously trying to hunt down Visuals, Braids, and Minish. But Razzle, Tay-Tay, and Rhino, they're also rotating on over from Dystopia City. And this is kind of becoming a cluster of teams trying to take this high ground position outside of the OXR HQ, which I can understand why, but you're seeing Peterbot, Cold, Ritual, and some of the other teams choose, hey, maybe this is not worth it. We still need damage elsewhere, and as long as both teams stay boxed up, there's no opportunity for said damage.
Problems definitely occurred though for Visuals, Braids, and Minish. Raito, Tay-Tay, they're also fully aware of the fact that Peterbot's team very likely still lurking nearby, so it's not like they're gonna have a smooth exit. But Victor B, Epic Whale, they found themselves a little bit too tangled up here. Reek, Curly, and Cooper certainly have a little bit more priority positioning, but Victor B, he's got to try and hold things down. He wants to provide a little bit of relief towards Epic Whale. They just don't have a whole lot to work with in comparison to Curly, who's just trying to charge, see if he can run Epic down, but Reet now taking the forefront positioning. Reet instead going to be left to fall behind as Epic now scattered, but that's breathing room.
Yeah, and this is just a tough position. Seeing both Victor B and Epic Well's loadout, they only have bandages, which is really not going to help them in this situation. No extra shields, which means Epic Well is just one pump away from going down. Victor B and him have to figure it out, but Veno, Vixie, Fico, they're trying to do the same thing. Not necessarily fighting the same off spawn, even with 2 eliminations, quickly rotating away from that Cannon's Crossing and end up in another exchange against one of Asia's finest, Buyuriru and his whole trio. But you can see neither team just kind of going all in, just trying to end the fight quickly. There is a little bit of elevation difference, but that's going to go over to Veno, Flixie, and Vico. So now they have the options, the choices of what to do next.
The key part, though, about Veno, Vico, and Flixie is you give them an inch, they're going to take a mile here. And they know that they applied a good amount of damage against Madim and Buyuriru, so they could be content with the surge that they built up, but knowing those guys, they're definitely out for more. They want at least 1, 2, even 3 eliminations, but Madim, Wixie, they're going to actually get up close and personal, but Wixie bit off more than he could chew. Vico's going to have no problem shutting that one down, and it's Flixie credit for 2, Veno with 1, but a nice cleanup all the way through.
But they just kind of went for an all-or-nothing play, and just the team's timing wasn't there. Madim got kind of shut down. Buyuriru wasn't able to put down pressure because he had the DMR, but now it's turning around on him. Vico, Flixie, Veno, they're dropping down from above. They know they have a huge numbers advantage, and that's why Vico's playing from the top down, trying to cut off any paths, any escape route toward the top, takes a shot, reassesses the situation, knowing his teammates do have the pressure. It's going to allow him to heal just a little bit. As Brian just getting a good shot. Buyuriru doing the same thing. Veno's being forced back, but the numbers are just way too much for them to handle. Vico gets the last laugh on the Buyuriru.
If it had been anyone else, might have been a little bit more worried there for Venom, but we knew he still had Flixie and Vico to back him up, no problem. Only 52 HP remains though for Medium, and whether or not Flixie, Venom, Vico decides to stick around, they might realize there's a third party that could easily roll on over, but they found the eliminations they needed to, so now they can just look to cut off Anon in the process.
Yeah. They got that same feeling that you did. Somebody might be pushing over. The fight might have taken way too long, drawn a lot of attention, and yes, it actually has. All the way from across the ocean, OCE from that low side on the map. Storm Surge is going to be one of their biggest worries dropping there if the zone does pull towards the top. They really have to start to figure out a way to take advantage of it. And with 2 teams here, Vico, Flixie, and Veno, and a solo player that they did leave behind down below, they're just kind of waiting here, getting information. They know Ager's team also lands on this side of the map, so they're trying to figure out where is the easiest possibility to get that damage.
It's just no secret. Anon was very vocal about the fact that he is not a fan of the way Surge has been working zone by zone. Up 1,001, down 300 and another. It's the nature of the game, and it can be brutal at times, but that's exactly why we see them trying to be more proactive, trying to create those aggressive Surge instances. But I'm not sure Veno, Vico, Flixie is the team that you want to take your chances on.
I feel like this is the team right here. Poyo, Agers, and Acorn, 10th place after day number 1. And I feel like the majority of the community had this team in their top 5, in their top 3, possibly winning the entire thing. But now, Acorn, one of the best IGLs, Poyo, one of the best fraggers in the game, and then Ager's the guy that can do it all. They're really going to be tested throughout these 6 games, just like Cammy, Audi, iDrop, haven't left their drop spot, not any bit, but this fight continues to come to them from Epic Whale's team to Tay-Tay's team. They're all just trying to get as much Storm Surge's damage because they know that's the kind of currency, that's the flexibility that allows you to rotate early when the zone pulls towards the north. That's something you can focus on versus everybody else.
But these kind of scrappy box fights are exactly where Asia tends to shine, and that's why we see a little bit of reservation there from iDrop, Cammy, and Hottie. They know what kind of position they're currently holding on the leaderboard. They don't want to give it up. Poyo, Agers, and Acorn, though, they just continue to take advantage of all the objectives surrounding them, even if they have to make some earlier rotates. We saw how difficult their day 1 started out, but by the end of it, we started to see that little bit of a bounce back factor, Jacob, and now with the whole night to actually hit the VODs, I'm so certain that Acorn has definitely cooked up something.
Yeah, in this game round, they did actually get the medallion that lands at Demon's Debris. They have the Mythic, and because of that, they have the A rank, which unlocked that vault, and they have the exotic as well. The Wrecker Revolver that shoots faster with every hit fire. So That's something that we're really going to have to watch out for, especially if they're looking for a comeback today through eliminations. Savage, Chat, Reason trying to do the same thing. Slow to rotate on out. They're prioritizing getting Storm Surge. A lot of these teams that are slow to rotate, those are the ones that are making a focus on this fight.
This is a big turnaround right now, though. It's only Cammy and iDrop left to duke it out up against some of Asia finest, but they're going for the double revive. It's a little bit greedy, but Tay, he's actually the only healthy member. They're gonna opt for possibly trading out revives, but no, Tay recognizing just too far away. Crash pad out, going for the escape, but iDrop and Cammy aren't gonna be able to give pursuit, at least not right away, but there's nowhere left for him to run. Tay, he's just gonna have to full-on bail.
And sometimes you just really don't get a choice. They're trying to just bring all the loot back into their box. They know other teams potentially nearby, but Adi's the one that really kind of opened up that opportunity, gets the knock, and the rest of the team was there. And that's a confidence-boosting feeling, knowing your entire team has your back. You can make a move, sometimes without even out saying anything. Clix, Pigs, and Yamzo kind of, I wouldn't say changing up their overall strategy, but all three of them as a team, they land towards those RBs just outside of the Supernova Academy. They get as much of that brick as possible, which kind of maxes out for the most part, and then they go and loot Supernova Academy. Try to get all the loot. I know everybody hears the crowd roaring right now. Swizzy, Mustache, and Queasy, business as usual, getting their early game Storm Surge, getting their early game rank ups, and then accessing the ball.
And the main thing to take note of here, Jacob, is that these guys aren't changing anything. Queasy, Swizzy,